Hello, hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Good evening. Welcome to today's live. I'm Rekha Morar, and I am so excited today to introduce you to somebody very, very special. Nandini joining us all the way from India. She has such an inspiring story. In her younger days, she was living the dream life. She was a supermodel, an actress, and in 2020, I believe, everything changed for her. She lost everything and had to start all over again in her 60s. So today, she's going to share how she found a way to rebuild her independence and freedom using our digital business system. And just a quick reminder to everybody, this is not a job. It's a proven digital business system that includes step by step training, full mentorship, and a complimentary webinar to learn more. So let's dive in. Nandini, welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for accepting my invitation to come on my page. I know your story has touched so many hearts. So can you walk us through your journey from your early days as a model and actress to what happened in 2020 that changed everything?
Yes, thank you so much, Rekha. And once again, I apologize for taking so long to come finally for this
Oh,
interview.
that's okay. I know
But
you've been very busy. You're helping so many people, so you're
uh,
inspiration to many.
great joy for me to speak to anyone from this global digital business because I really love all of you from the bottom of my heart. I'm
Mhm.
so proud of every human being that has taken a leap, taken an action, and come forward into the digital world because in today's world, the digital space is booming. And as Rekha said, this is not a job. This is an opportunity for you to become your own boss, a digital business entrepreneur. And if you don't understand digital and business, we teach you
Don't
everything.
worry, yeah.
You're taught every single thing from scratch. You will not be left in a soup and a muddle, let me tell you. All right? We'll hold your hand. So remember that we are social media affiliate marketers. Let's get that clear from now on because otherwise, many people say, what is digital? What is it that you're doing? I didn't know. This is what we do. Okay, about me. I'm Nandini said, your very own digital business mentor from India, saying a big hello to all of you and thanking Rekha for inviting me here today. I'm a coach and a well-being mentor. I have coached and mentored people for over 35 years now, both in huge groups of like thousands of people, including one-on-one. It is my passion to help people blossom into who they're truly meant to be. And that's why this business so aligns with who I am as a human being. Because here as well, it's about wholesome success. It's about blossoming in who you are truly meant to be, all over, not just financially, completely with your mindset, your relationships, and everything included. Because it's no halfway house in our business, it's the
No.
full human being. And so, when I was five, I decided that I wanted to help people. And I told my dad that very, very clearly. At that time, I thought you have to be a nurse to help people because of Florence Nightingale. But anyway, I went on to becoming a coach and a well-being mentor. But before that, at 16, I became a supermodel. And when you're 16, you're young, you're carefree, you don't think of things much. In those days, when I was 16, we didn't have long term contracts and we didn't get percentages and all like the models get today. It was a very simple nominal fee. In spite of that, and in spite of my grandfather and my father saying, no, 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 you don't worry about taxes, and no, no, I was still like very clear and careful that I wanted to save money. So I did save money. However, we didn't earn huge amounts. It was a small little nominal, but I did save money. I was always careful, And then, cut to as I grew older, I started teaching yoga, I did Reiki, I started healing modalities, I trained myself. I really spent a lot of money training myself so that I could offer something special to people. I went to LA and did soul coaching and past life regressions. And then I was with the Art of Living, where I was there for about 15
Oh,
years, teaching internationally, teaching in prisons, teaching in multi-level companies, multinational companies, in gurdwaras, in churches, in community centers. I work with at-risk children, at-risk women. I remember when there was the Iraq war, we had a whole lot of them coming to the ashram, and I did I think, a 1 week program with them, which really helped rehabilitate them because everybody was like a complete wreck. So I've had the privilege, I'd like to say, of
mhm.
working with all ages, all backgrounds, and all sorts of issues. I mean, it breaks my heart to see what people go through. It's really, and if I can help anybody have a happier life, then my life means something to me.
Yeah.
And however, in 2020, by 2020, I was a single mom and all my savings finished. Because you can only stretch your savings that far when you're an actor and a model. There's a lot of maintenance that goes. But before that, I lived my dream life. I bought what I want, I did what I want, provided a really good life for my kids. But cut to 2020, I was completely devastated. There was nothing left for me, Rekha. I had to
Oh,
move out of
sad.
my home. And I love Bombay. I love Bombay. Bombay has my heartbeat.
Me
Bombay
too.
has
I
my
love Bombay.
yeah, I love it. I love the sea. I love bhel puri, pani puri,
Mhm. Yeah,
chana sing on the road. We get peanuts on the road,
exactly.
hot dog. And just walking there and having the ocean spray on you. It's just a lovely feeling. I'm passionate about my city. And I had to leave. Oh my God. And it's very difficult for me to be away from Pani Puri.
Oh, wow, me too. I love Pari Puri,
So for those of you who
especially
don't
in the on chapati, right?
yeah, yeah. So, I went to Bombay International School, Rekha, at Babulnath, and
Hmm.
opposite our school, there was one Pani Puri Chacha. That means or we call him uncle because he was much older than us, but a person who used to sell Pani Puri on the street. So there are these little round crisp puris,
Yeah.
and then you put chutney in that of tamarind and coriander. It's yum and
Oh, it's
potatoes.
so yum.
Yeah. So my friend
My mouth
Meena,
is watering now.
we go there. I have such memories,
Yeah,
my Pani Puri Chacha. Oh, my Chana Singh Wala.
yeah,
Then close to my house, I had a guy who sold hot gram and hot peanuts. So the mind is so weird. It thinks of things like that all the
yeah,
time. I just really miss that, I miss my kathi kebab wala. So in Bandra, you get kathi kebab rolls. So the strangest of things the mind
yeah,
witness. Of course, my darling friends. I have the most adorable friends that I've grown up with. I've known them since I was 5, and we're still like super close. So I gave up a really amazing life,
yeah.
and I was very bad. And I didn't know what to do, Rekha, and I started going for job interviews. But who would hire me? Let's face it. As you grow older, people may be charmed by you. People may even
Hmm.
love you, but they'll always go with a younger person, right?
Yes, that's true.
Isn't it? Job interviews are ageist, and I don't blame them also. They don't want to take on an older person. God knows what kind of medical health issues you'll have. People have their own, and rightfully so, their own thoughts in their mind. I won't say biases.
Yeah,
And why not? It's their company, they can decide. Now what to do? And then I tried online. Nothing was happening. Somebody then said, try this digital business. And I had a full conniption. I said, digital? No,
oh,
no, no, no. Because the usual, all
yeah,
the thought
yeah,
of, नहीं नहीं ये ठीक नहीं रहेगा ये this may be a scam, it may be illegal. All those horrible thoughts came into my mind. That's really the truth. I can't lie about it.
yeah,
But my mom always taught me that be open. at least give something a chance. Don't just
Yeah,
decide before you've even seen ki kya hai. And that's what I say to the audience also. When you come to Rekha's page, don't just decide, oh, no, this is it. No. Just hang on there.
yeah,
Give it a chance. Watch her videos, see her posts, listen to what she's saying, because we're older women. We're not going to do something which is going to be illegal. We're not going to do something
yeah,
that's a scam. We're not going to do something which will get us into trouble with our grown-up children and our husbands and our society. We're not going to do that. I mean, Rekha from India now lives in the US. She can't afford to do something
I
illegal.
can't. Yeah,
Right. Right. So I started doing my research. I said, okay, fine, stop this bias, do your research, and found out. So, Rekha, like you, I heard people's stories, and I really felt a heart connection. Oh my God, is this what happened to her? Wow, very nice. Then I'd see dads talking about it, then I'd see couples talking about it. And what I liked throughout the across the board was everybody wanted to help either their family or their village or give charity to children or to a hospital. No matter what, everybody talked about helping. And I thought, wow, these are my brethren. This is my kinfolk. Because I used to pray to God that give me money, God. And then what I'll do is I want to help
yeah,
everybody in any way that I can. And that's why I joined this business, not having a clue about the B of business, the D of digital. I didn't know all that. So when I joined the business, I want to very frankly tell you, I didn't really know what the business was. I joined because of the people.
yeah. Same
This
here. Same with me. I'm from IT background, but I had no clue about social media at all and
Yeah.
no marketing skills. But so when I first, looked at this, I'm like, what? People are earning from home and doing this. I'm too old for this. That's what I said to myself. But I said, okay, give it a chance. I watched the webinar, and on that webinar, the first one that I watched, there was a grandma as one of the panelists. Her name is Deborah. You might know her. And by watching her do that, she did not even know how to put a picture on Facebook, and she was one of our top leaders now. So she was my inspiration, and that's how I got into business as well. Yeah, thank you for sharing your story, Nandini. You have been through a lot, and you came out strong, right? And that's what's important. You always need to think positive in life, because sometimes things are not doesn't work out exactly how we plan it, but God has something in plan for you. That's why you went through whatever you went through, because God has this plan brewing for you, right? So yeah, because my story was sad too, because I got laid off with 1 day notice from my IT job. But it turned out to be a blessing, because then I stayed home with my girls, and I was able to spend that time with them before they got married. So, everything happens for a reason, so it was a blessing for sure. One thing I like to ask you is, when you first started the business, how did you find the training?
I loved it. The parts of it I found difficult, but I like learning. I love learning, Rekha.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
love learning new things.
me too. Yeah.
And I have to thank my coach and mentor. They were there.
Hmm.
They didn't really babysit me. And in retrospect, that was very good for me,
Yes.
because then I would try this, then I would try that. I would re-listen to what was being said. I would say, okay, fine. I'm not clear. I'd take a little break. I'd come back. I'd understand it again. I made my notes. I check on Google. So it was like being, I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved the learning part of it.
Yeah.
I love expanding my mind.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
I
And
know.
I
I
feel that,
find it. very easy to follow, and
Yes.
even with somebody with no technical background can
Yes.
follow it. Yeah.
What you're saying is so right because I have somebody in our team. She didn't even have a Facebook page. She didn't know how to do a smartphone.
Oh,
But,
wow.
but because of the training, today she's a rock star. She's a rock star. She does StreamYard, she does this post, she does live, she
Oh,
does
wow.
reels, all
Nice.
because of the training. So she says that this business has made me from zero to hero.
I like that. I like that. It's made you a hero in our community too. You presented in so many masterminds, and I've watched you, and you're inspiration to so many people. You've given back to the community, So one day I will too. So I've been in the business 3 years, but it's just absolutely been a blessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how has your day-to-day life changed since starting this business?
So because I don't do this part time, but
Yeah,
I know people, but there are people in my team who do it just for 30 minutes a day.
yeah,
I don't do it part time. And because I wanted to just get over, feeling sad, feeling lonely, missing Bombay, I said, okay, let me just throw myself into this and
yes,
start enjoying it. So I literally did that. I learned the training like slowly. I took my time. It took a long time to learn the training. It took a long time to learn the training. I understood the efficacy of this business. And then I like to create from a very young age. I love to make movies and pretty posts and use colors.
yeah,
So we are not creators. Let me be very clear of that. We're not content creators. All we have to create are these small little ads, which because we're attraction marketers.
yeah.
I create because I enjoy the process. So I spend a lot of time on my business because I enjoy it.
And you have time, right? Like,
I have time.
I mean, I know few people that are on my team too. Like, they're working full time, but they're building this business on the side.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
working. When I first started, my daughters were still with me, and I had to prep for my daughter's wedding. But so I took it slow. But now they're both married, and now I have more time. I spend a little bit more time on the
Yes.
business. But
Spend a
more,
lot of time.
more
Yes.
efforts you spend, the more rewards you get as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And I keep my phone with me all the time.
same.
So I log my life and present it to people.
Yeah.
But I want to also say one thing that when I'm traveling, then I spend that half an hour a day, not longer, because I can't. But because we have such a good automation system, the
Yes.
business it doesn't stop. The business doesn't stop whether you're doing it 24/7 or not, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like last week, I was in Aruba, for a few days, but I was able to just, while having morning coffee on my deck at the resort, I was just able to, reply to a few inquiries. I actually shot few videos for the page as well. And then the rest of the day, I got to just enjoy with my husband and my friends, So that's what life is all about, the
Yes.
flexibility. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And also another thing, yesterday someone was telling me, you're so excited. I said, yes, I am. You know, I am enthralled that from a life where I felt I was just nothing, it was all over. I was so depressed, I was so down, I was so sad all the time. And now I'm back to me. I
Yeah,
feel so thrilled that I'm back to me. This is me.
yeah,
Optimistic, happy, delighted with life. Imagine at my age, I got an opportunity to
yeah,
rebuild my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. So, yeah, sure, I'm excited.
yeah. Yeah, same here. I found my purpose. If I didn't have this business to fall back to, like when my daughters got married, I would have been really depressed when
Yes,
when I had an empty house, right? But luckily, as soon as they got married, I had a business that I could really focus on. So it
You
gave
know,
me a purpose.
you're
Yeah.
saying something so important. Do you
Yes.
know 70% of depression for people in
Yes.
60s is loneliness?
Yeah. Yeah.
Rekha and me won't feel the L of loneliness.
I know. So, one other question. If you could go back and speak to your 20-year-old self, what advice would you give her?
I would tell her that look, read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It'll educate you about finances. And after you read it, let's find you multiple streams of income.
Yes.
So that when you grow older, you will not reach a stage where money is not flowing into you. So once we get that going, once you get that going, then you continue with your life. But let's first educate you about finance, about
Mhm.
liabilities,
So
about
important.
assets, about how best you can use your money well, how best you can invest your money well first. That's the most important thing. In fact, I would not just say to my 20-year-old, I would start with teenagers. I would start at school and say, come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
let's
True.
understand how finance works.
Yeah.
Because I strongly believe, and like Robert Kiyosaki said, the rich don't work for money. They make money work for them.
That's right.
That's
My
what I would.
husband's always says that too, and he's the one who taught my girls at a very early age, all
Yeah.
about money, not from school, but because he's an accountant, so he taught my girls, and
I love your husband for that.
yeah, he's a keeper. He's a keeper.
Yes.
But even the girls right now, they got their home and everything after they got married, but they have a plan to pay off their house within X number of years and everything because we taught them those values. We didn't want them to go through because I've seen some of our friends go through, with no backup plan, nothing. I mean, we were blessed that we had a backup plan. We had savings when I lost my job. So we didn't have, I was able to just stay home and not have to worry about money. But now that I'm older, I want to travel. So I need money for travel. Plus, I want to start something in India to help with education. My
Yeah.
brother is already doing it. I help him, but I want to start something on my own, like a foundation. So the money that I want to use my money for to do that. So that's what this money that I make in the business, I'm using it for that. So I'm truly blessed. Yeah. So, Nandini, thank you so much for opening your heart today. Your journey is a proof that it's never too late to take control of your life,
No.
and create something new. We both I mean, I was in 50s, she's in 60s, but we both started fresh, right? So, to
Right.
anybody who is watching, if Nandini's story or my story spoke to you, then we have a complimentary webinar where you can just learn how this business works. No pressure, it's just information. So watch it at your own time. Just message any of us, and we will guide you to that step to get the link for the webinar. Okay. So thank you everybody, and thank you Nandini so much. Hope to meet you someday.
I hope so too.
Yeah. All
All right.
right. Bye.